Bienvenidas, bienvenidos, bienvenides a este espacio llamado R+. Yo soy Roberto García y estamos inaugurando una nueva sección en este podcast llamada Global Tunes, en la que estaremos platicando con proyectos de todo el mundo. Estamos iniciando con un gran músico llamado Rexen, quien hace algunas semanas estrenó un álbum llamado The Chauffeur. Pero bueno, permítanme darle la bienvenida. Rexen, thank you very much for your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Let me start with this kind of a basic or simple question, but how did this album actually begin for you? Did you always see the Chauffeur as a full album of these 11 tracks, or did it take shape gradually as you were writing?
Yeah, no, I always write and experience music as a discovery journey. So it started a few years back, maybe even 3 or 4 years ago, before it came out. There was a farmer that gave me a free room and said, "You can build your studio here. You can have it for free." He came to all my shows, and a very generous man. And then I really had a good long period of writing music there. And I think I ended up with writing maybe 30 compositions or something like that, which we ended up cutting down to about 11. So it's a movement of discovery and trying to find a way, an intuitive journey.
When you start writing or working in music with this slow process, when you reconnect with these songs to record or some of these stages in the record album or whatever, did you recognize you as the way when you write those songs? What changed in you as a musician or as a person when you
Mm.
rework these songs or writings?
Yeah, the I think that it starts off as a place that wants to that like in a way it's kind of I look back now, right? So now I have the clear vision of being in the future, and I see that in a way I was growing to try and represent parts of myself that was a part of my trying to represent the place where fragility and strength, they meet each other. So in a way, the work becomes an evolution to create a new identity. An identity that already lives inside but hasn't taken its full shape yet. And the songs allow for some confidence to be the thing that you want to be. Allowing for that inner need that can only be described with poetry and also some regarding with some fear, some things, some subjects that you can feel. Maybe this subject, you are fearful of that subject, so it's interesting because of that. Yeah. So in a way, guided in part by fear.
Okay. Can you tell us about this character or concept of the chauffeur, the name of the album? Maybe it's obvious in the song, but I think that idea across the whole album. But can you tell us about the chauffeur, this
Yeah.
character?
I have a deep desire to be of service. to be something in this world of service, of part of a community, to be part of this, our global society, or even my local society. And it, to me, it's so honorable to be the one that says that I will bring you safely to your destination. So it reflects my, I talked to an artist once in China named Chauffeur, one of my great heroes. And he also said to me that he understood, because he said the one thing that an artist desires is to be understood, and and when as writing this and being with my community and my peoples, we in conversation started to understand this, that it reflects this desire to be of service, to be something for my people, even just in my local neighborhood. So it fit me. And I'll also say that I love to drive. So there is nothing more great than to drive your family, or to go pick up your mother and take her on to go shopping, or to say to your friend, "Don't worry, I pick you up in the airport. It doesn't matter that it's 4:00 in the morning."
Well, it's if you think deeper, it's a really personal, because the other people put his safety, his life in your hands when you are driving. It seems like something common or everyday thing, but it's kind of deep if you think. Anyway,
Yeah, and common things are where poetry lives, and our job as artists is often to try and notice it.
Totally agree. A Latin American poet said something like the everyday thing, like breakfast, the morning, the sunrise, is where the poetry lives. It's not in the dictionary poetry.
Sure.
It's what you feel when you wake up, and it's really interesting and deep how connect we are in terms of art or poetry. It's great, that idea. But something that I really think it's interesting about the album, it's that idea of community, because I think the songs feels like came from an I perspective, but that personal idea, it's always aware that is no I don't know how to say this, but it's aware of there is a world around it, a society, a collective. It's not only I feel because I feel isolated of the world. It's part of the community. That society can affect the way we love, the way we hate, the way we are related to others. And it's kind of interesting the way you write the songs. Is that a rational idea, the rational way you write the songs, or is something natural that came in the way you work with your art and your songs?
I think that I work always to try and impress the people that are around me, I guess. Again, back to the service that I want to be in. And I also live in a community space called Christiania in the middle of Copenhagen, which is a 50-year-old squat that we have here. And this is where my work was born also. And through the years, I've always made all my music videos only here and things. So I think that I have these people around me that help me and that have been with me for years and years. So we are, the things that I am able to say are actually from conversations with others. I usually say that creativity, it's maybe you can say, you can create that somebody can fly or a cat can talk or something, but all other things is either something you experienced yourself or something you heard somebody say. We are creatures that learn everything that we do. We have learned it from somewhere. I think that it is it's my observation anyway about creativity that it is always, it's like, what's his name? This producer, ambient producer and composer. Anyway, he says, there is no geniuses, there is only genius.
Yeah.
Yes, we're back again, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so only geniuses, no geniuses, always a genius. Any genius of history, not that I'm saying that, I don't want to put myself inside with Einstein and all of these great guys, but it is always about a societal movement. And great art, it's such a fascinating work, because no matter how original you feel that you are being, after a few years you will look back and you'll see, I was going through the same as many others, and I was reflecting something, in this case, somehow I looked at this album and I saw that there is parts of I was representing quite a lot of my version of masculinity, for example, with and this act of service. So masculinity not as dominance, but as service. I think that I realize now even that may be that is a very obvious subject that is on our minds as a society at the moment. So I am doing my bit to also, maybe I'm a part of fourth wave feminism or something like that, where the boys are back. And now we can be with that. I hope so. I think I have a small theory about that.
That's quite interesting, because when we develop the idea of masculinity in art or even in the entertainment industry, there is a really thin line that we can cross to add arguments to the other side, the toxic masculinity. I think your album never crossed that line, put this whole palette of emotions, vulnerability, and ideas of the masculinity that you never cross it. That's pretty interesting. How hard is write songs with this idea of maybe pop music without crossing that line?
Yeah, I think that maybe, as I said in the beginning, that fear guided me there, seeing that it was a little fearful for me to represent, to try and feel like that I wanted to represent that what was coming. So there was, in part, my intuitiveness about it, but also in part a feeling of that there was something there to investigate, something of worth my while. So it's it just not without some cost. Everything cost. It should cost something from it, and in some points it cost me to be vulnerable, or it cost me to be honest, to see that there was it opens conversations about toxic masculinity, for example, and to see, also to admit that the only way for me to start to embody positive masculinity or another version of masculinity is to realize and be truthful with that even I had some of the toxic masculinity in me, and that there was a change and a battle to go to the other place and to nurture and water the seeds of positive or another version of masculinity.
Of course.
Yeah.
Another idea that I really like this album is how you treat love as something complex. It's not just a simple feeling or universal feeling, but it's full of shades and darker spaces. Um, when you write about love in the way these songs, you write as inside the experience of love, or you write like observing the process of love, how you work with this feeling that seems universal and simple from a really complex and interesting way.
Appreciate that. I appreciate your version of that. It's it certainly is a complex and thing, because part of love is also a part of one's ego to the desire to create meaning in this world, and it can also put you in a place where you sometimes, sometimes you wish that it wasn't so. Can I not find where can I not find peace? May I not be peaceful here on this planet, since that I am moved by a body that feels, and a heart with strings, hormones, and a life, and a body that gets older and is filled with longing for peaceful, for not, and love is a huge part of that movement, And when you speak of love, I'll also say that I think that many of my great artist heroes, and including myself, I can be proud to say that I love humanity. I love people. I want to be of service, and I want to observe them. So I see them in their natural ways, and they make me smile and laugh and cry about all of it.
Great. I was reading in the press release that you, with this album, you opened the process to other musicians. It was easy for you to open your songs to the other people's personality, even if just for the record moment or the play moment, play the instruments. It was easy for you?
No, it was not easy. It was with sacrifice of my own thing. I can say, there is maybe a director's cut of this album that will, because I worked together with some of my great heroes, with John Parrish, that made everything for Sparkle Horse, Eels, PJ Harvey, right? Who I sent him a letter 8 years ago and asked if I could just come to his place. And over 8 years, we built until this moment where we finally worked together, And sometimes imagine I wrote so many cellos and violins. And then when we sit with it, he just go like, he listened one time, no, not this one. And then he just, in front of my eyes, he cut them out. And then I say, but could we just listen one more time? And he's like, yeah, okay, we listen. Yeah, and then he's like, can you not hear it? It's not working with the thing. And then what am I going to say? I hired this guy to advise me to do that. So after 3 days of working, like, I had to go for a walk. We were in England, and I was wandering the streets as a dog with no home, and I hadn't lost contact with the work, so many things gone, so many new things up. I thought, whose album is this anyway, right? But as the walk continued and I listened again, and I started to see that it was good to trim that my vision was a personal connection with each cello, but in truth, it was blurring what was the essence. So it was a gift of a dance where you give and you take, and you give and you take, and sometimes you got to let go, every creation of those are mine, and they walk on their own. You know, they when they're finished, they're no longer mine, and I had to say goodbye to some things even before releasing.
If you let me, it's a really interesting experience in terms of music, in terms the way it sounds, because it's deeper, but also had a really interesting balance between that accessible music, but also a really deep emotions and sounds. But if you put away the genres, folk or whatever, how you describe the sound of this album?
I'm sorry. You know what? I wish I could say it's. It's too complicated for me. I usually say genres is something for everybody else to think about, not for me or not for the creator. We just create, and then somebody else divides it into what they believe it is, you know. And to explain art and explain poetry does it a disservice, because I already said it so precisely. Some things need to be said only with poetry, and that place where melody and words meet, and it changes the meaning, and its subtlety hints to a complexity behind that because the melody changed. I will always do a disservice to it to try and explain it in a different way. I may only explain the process, but not the art.
Totally agree. I also know, or I think the genres, that kind of tags are also just for the market moment of the music, and it's better when you experience the music from what they told you, what they try to express and touch for the audience, and that's what really means in the terms of the people who are really love music. But it's really well, at least we love music, think something like that. But
yeah,
unfortunately we are running, the time is running out. But I really want to thank you for your time, your patience with my English, and something you want to add to this conversation?
I'll just say that people like you are the salt of the earth. Your work is really appreciated, and I appreciate meeting you, Roberto. Maybe next time that I come to Mexico to play, I will be very happy to invite you.
Thank you. And para la gente que nos está escuchando, reiterarles la invitación a escuchar el álbum de Chauffeur de Rexen, que es una pieza bastante interesante musicalmente y emocionalmente, con un montón de reflexiones y demás. Nosotros dejaremos también los links para redes sociales en la descripción de este podcast. Y bueno, Rexen, this podcast is your home. Thank you.
Just service. Thank you.